Roger on Union 121. Wait, 18 Roger. Roger. 34, 150, 34 minutes. Four, you're in Roger, the battery suspect 318 East 3rd Street. 4 repeat. 34 with Roger, on your screen, 318 East.
Welcome to camp, guys and girls. Tonight's storm is predicted to be 50 plus winds and heavy rain. I don't know when it's arriving. I think it's maybe after midnight, as usual, coming up from the south. So although this is a south facing opening in the forest, there's a huge arena of trees, I'll show you, which are acting as a windbreak. So although we might get some exciting rain lash hitting the side of the tarp, I will be, hunkered down really dry. I'll just show you the details. So what I've got tonight is Basha folded back at the moment, but it will be pinned down against the storm. A good 2 feet or more each end of the sleeping bag for the rain to be deflected. And in here I have my Army, British Army, Carinthia I think it is, might be wrong, British Army DPM Gore-Tex Bivy bag, basic. I've managed to modify the hood. They've got a reputation for being tricky to tighten up, and I've put a small thread, smaller paracord through that, so it should close with a bit of effort. On the side of the zips to get in, inside I've got the winter bag, which I'll probably sleep on top of tonight because I think it'll be quite warm at 15 to 17 degrees after dark. So there's a zip all the way along the side, no bugs can get in. There's a slight breeze coming off the trees, the forest behind me there, but I'm still facing south behind the camera at the moment, so I think the wind will change direction once the storm comes in. So ground sheet, foil, airbed, lightweight small airbed which packs into a very small size of a trainer, and we're going to be as secure as anything. So I'm going to pin it down now and see what it looks like for the storm. Then the most important thing, get the BCB on and of course cook dinner. Why don't you join me? Okay guys, everything's squared away nicely, ready for cook. As you know, I like my breakfast in bed in the morning, so I'm using methylated spirits as usual. The flames don't go very high at all, and it does the job. So in here you'll recognise this. I've got my meths and cutting tools and frying pan, pots, so I'm all set to cook tonight noodles and oh no, it's cheesy pasta. and I've got two beautiful beef burgers to fry up with hot chili peppers, and then to wrap them up, do wraps basically, so it's two courses. So I'm going to enjoy myself. I've got two basher poles here, so I can lower them and bring everything more to base. So, but I think honestly, if I get a wood peg and pull this one down with this bit of spare paracord, secure it to the turf, all the water's going to run off nicely. So that's probably what I will do. So a quick tour of the campsite. This is, I say, a really nice hidden cloister of trees where, you know, I shared with deer. I know I've seen deer in this little capture area. In fact, when I walked in tonight, there was something darted into the trees there, even though I was quiet, because there's not much wind at the moment, and so things are fairly silent. So as you can see, it's a nice secluded spot. I have been here once before during the Lavu day camp. I think it was 2 years ago, perhaps a year and a half ago. So at this end I've used the favourite daisy chain, which a friend of the Paras passed on. Quick release. The knots are dead easy to just unhitch and you're gone. And then you just work your way to the far end, and the other end is a bungee which keeps the tarp taut. Underneath I've modified things slightly with the bug net. I've used a couple of coat hangers, lightweight plastic coat hangers, and they're give me a nice ridge, bedroom height, which is really nice. So that's worked out quite well. Obviously twigs, branches do the trick, but you really do need to carry a knife and split each end open and then thread them in nicely. But you know, I've not been carrying knives as a rule because of the legislation, which is a great pity. But you know, I'm sort of working around that. I think a small knife, small blade would probably be a good idea. What I have learned today about army kit is I didn't wear a long sleeve shirt because it's so humid. And I wish I had now, because all the spikes and the sort of twigs and needles that stick to you on your arms and cut you, then go down your back of your neck. So, you know, although these shirts are uncomfortable, they're very good because they button up very tight on the collar and you can protect yourself pretty well. I mean, that's what they're for. But you have to sweat like an animal. That's the downside. So, yeah, the view from this side. As you can see, woodland, DPM. I think plain dark green would be okay in a forest like this. This is really designed for broadleaf and shadows and sunshine. But you know, it's still quite covert. Just heard a deer barking. It's kind of like a scooching sound. Sort of, there's one or two dotted around in the dense and dark forest. As you can see, it's very thick and dense through there. So I do expect a few strange noises in the night, but they are welcome. Because you know, if you're used to being out, you don't need to be spooked. You kind of listen to nature, you listen to the suffering of the wind on the trees, you hear the occasional game bird, and you hear barking of foxes, sort of short, it's a fox, when you hear the deer communicating to each other. So there was one down there just a moment ago, and because it's there, I know that the entrance to this enclosure is not being intruded on, because the wildlife are communicating quite happily down that end. So the animal life and the bird life are your ears and eyes, and all you got to do is be as invisible as they are, and of course no talking. something really nice about the smell of fresh cooking sitting under fir trees with the wind surfing the tops of the trees. The whole thing, you know, is a complete overload, sensory overload of nature. Wonderful place to be. Lovely smell. Yeah, I think it'll be very tasty. A nicely cooked beef burger, a proper one, and a mild chilli in a wrap. That's all you need. I wish you could smell and savour the aroma coming from the forest tonight. Yep guys, that looks like it's cooked right through. Can you hear them? Great sound, isn't it? Deer talking to each other. Almost prehistoric. Okay guys, it's time to crash out. Catch you in the morning. Good night. Morning guys. Well, that was quite an interesting night. Woke up a couple of times. It's interesting, 30 skimming the trees, but the roar was interesting. Some rain, long roaring sounds at one end of the wood, totally sheltered at this end, and then suddenly this end would get the roaring wind. So it's interesting how the weather moves up. It moves up in layers and sort of channels. Right, I think that's enough reporting. Now to make the first coffee of the day. So until next time, cheerio.